let me set the stage for you. So Shangri-La Frontier is set in the age of full body virtual reality gaming. Stop me if you've heard this one.
I was gonna say, oh, how original.
Oh, how original. Yeah. So we have this kid. His name is Hizutome Rakuro. His handle is Sun Raku, which basically I'm just going to call him Sun Raku for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you weren't, I was gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna roll Sun Raku because it's all the character is known as. But,
pretty much.
All right, go.
Yeah, even when I hear his real name, I have to hear in my brain, oh yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, connect the dots for a minute. Like, wait, which? Oh yeah, okay.
So Sun Raku, he loves to play a specific type of virtual reality games. He likes to find the kusoge, or the air quotes, the shitty games. He likes to find the games riddled with the bugs, the glitches. He's a bit of a glitch hunter. He loves games with the frustrating and overly complex mechanics, or some of them are just too damn hard for the average player. And Sun Raku has gotten very good at beating these games, and he loves these games, and as a result, he is basically the ultimate gamer. His gaming skills are through the roof. But after beating a particularly painful fantasy RPG title, in which the anime opens with him drop-kicking this elf lady in slow motion with no context, and it's amazing.
I know, the opener's so good.
It's so great. Apparently, this NPC has just been giving him hell for the past several weeks. And so Sun Raku is looking for a new game to spark his interests. And it just so happens there's a new hotness on the market. Shangri-La Frontier, the supposed god game, boasting all the latest and greatest tech. It has over 30 million active players. This is basically the World of Warcraft of this world. It is just taking everything by storm. And so Rakuro does what he does best. He boots up the game, and he skips the prologue cutscene like a degenerate, skips all the tutorials, and just dives right in with a min-max luck build and wearing this silly blue bird mask because he thought it was funny.
Also, degenerate, I feel attacked, by the way, because I'm that guy half the time.
Sun Raku starts with as you would guess, he starts off with a pretty cavalier attitude about Shangri-La Frontier, but he quickly discovers this game has a lot more to offer in its setting and world building than he could ever imagine. And what he thought would be a cakewalk through this casual game for babies brings him face to face with some serious teeth that will, of course, forever change the course of his playthrough and have ripple effects through the game of Shangri-La Frontier as a whole.
So, right off the hop, how did this grab you, like, when this whole thing kicked off? Like, the premise of this game. Or game, dear Lord, this show.
I thought it was going to be something like a trapped in a video game show.
So did I. I was like, oh no, not again.
Yeah, not again. Or I was just content to ignore this. And I thought, well, how long is the gimmick going to last? Well, as it turns out, it was really the memes.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I'm on. When I was looking across social media and like people who were like first adopters, they were sharing that image of him drop kicking that elf all over the place, and also the bird masks and all the reaction. Like this anime has a bunch of reaction faces.
Yeah, it does.
So it was the memes and all the posts being shared about it that I was going, okay, I'll give it one episode, I guess. There might be something to it. And then after like 3 episodes or so, I was solid. I was hooked.
Yeah, episode 1, if you're flirting with the idea of this show, if this is what you like in an anime and a show, episode 1 will probably grab you pretty easily.
Episode 1 is like the Guardians of the Galaxy opening.
Yeah.
Just you have this grand setup, and then Star-Lord starts dancing. It's very much the same kind of energy of this grand adventure, and he's finished this thing. He's just beaten this dragon, and then he drop kicks the elf.
Well, yeah, he drops kicks the elf, also in underpants and a luchador mask. Yeah, it pans out from this dragon, half-naked man, a luchador mask, and I'm like, is this dude doing like the depraved Dark Souls build to be like, what the hell is going? And then just drop kicks an elf. Oh, okay, yeah, I can relate to so much of this. I'm into this.
An impactful opening, you could say.
Yeah. Oh, that was terrible, Dave. That was terrible.
What? Impact frames.
Yeah, sure. I meant the pun, but okay, yeah.
There's plenty more where that came from.
Oh, great. Awesome.
So Shangri-La Frontier began as a web novel series in 2017. The author is Rina Hara, or goes by Katarina online. The series got a manga adaptation that began in 2020. You had Catalina-san on writing, and then we have a manga artist Ryosuke Fuji on illustration. So Ryosuke Fuji's done World End Crusaders. They did a side manga called Attack on Titan: The Lost Girls. Both Shangri-La Frontier, the web series, and the manga are still ongoing as of this episode.
Oh, cool.
The studio animating this series is called C2C, or Challenge to Challenge. They've been around a little while, just over 20, well, almost going on 20 years. They were founded in 2006, so they've done work assistance on Fairy Tail and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, just some small names, clearly.
Yeah, and those are just two that I cherry picked.
Yeah.
Their first outing as the primary studio was in 2012. They did this series called Euromates 3D, which it's a gag comic about some college students living together in a small apartment, so just slice of life shenanigans.
I was gonna say, yeah, sounds charming.
Through the 2010s, they have a couple of shows where they co-produced with Studio Satellite, so M3, The Dark Metal, Aquarion Logos, and World End. I know of Aquarion, but I've not seen anything by it. I think it's a mecha series, or has mecha in it.
Yeah, I think I've seen the name World End like a couple of times, but yeah, same deal. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds familiar.
I am more familiar with their recent works as far as the 2020s, so it includes Tsukimichi, Moonlight Fantasy. I remember this other one, Pride of Orange, which was a girls' hockey series. So these Japanese schoolgirls who started off in the knitting club apparently get good enough at hockey to defeat the Canadian team, which was like the biggest the biggest stretch of okay.
I was gonna say so many swerves lately, but okay, sure.
Yeah, so Pride of Orange, they worked on Reincarnated as a Sword, or the show called, I think it's called like AKA Sword Dad. A guy is a sentient sword wielded by a cat girl.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, moving along. We have Handyman Saito in Another World, and this is another Isekai Trapped in Another World series, but I actually like this one. I watched a couple episodes, and it's basically just a general handyman guy. He's dropped into a D&D setting, so, the armor gets dented, he'll put it back, or he helps the wizard with mage components, that sort of thing.
Huh, okay.
And then we have Otaku Elf. It's a shut-in elf at a Japanese shrine. Basically, her caretaker tries to get her out into the world and interact with people. Otaku Elf, it's an elf who loves Japanese culture. So,
all right, are you like me, and anytime you see a show that has the words reincarnated or in another world, and do you breeze past at this point?
It's like my eyes literally glaze over, and I've forgotten about the title as soon as I've gone over.
It's a hill to climb over nowadays, I swear. It's just like you better have a good hook, or you better be prepared to sell me if you're using I'm reincarnated in another world as a gumball or whatever.
What? So I'll stop there for the studio. I'll mention the directors and such later. So we have C2C, and yeah, pretty solid credits overall.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Getting into the art and animation style, what do you think about the general world of Shangri-La Frontier?
Beautiful. You can tell a lot of detail. They did their homework. They're like, we want it to be that perfect blend of fantasy, sci-fi, and they pulled out all the stops. I've always been impressed anytime they enter another area in this show.
I love the biomes in this series. It's also a little bit feels very meta. You have all of the towns are named after numbers. So
why is that not a mechanic in real games? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's like First Topia, 3 Center, or just
Third Drama, whatever.
Third Drama, 15th. Yeah, it's just, and then they drop them in a forest. Like, here you go, starting forest. You got some Vorpal bunnies. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here going, how many games have I started where it just drops me, like you start in a forest or some sort of pastoral setting. There's the starting town over there. And oh no, there's a goblin, or there's a cute slime enemy, or whatever, mascot
better learn to fight.
They're trying to do. Yeah, you better learn how to fight. You go from that to, again, the more techno side, entire ruins of just completely jagged, angular structures.
Prismatic forest. Looking at this, remembering it's a video game, based on a video game world, it's clearly, all right, let's design places where people that are lore junkies, unlike Sunrock, are gonna dig into this, like what happened to these ruins, all this stuff. They knew like, hey, real video game players would like this and everything else. It was an interesting take. Another random side note too about the biomes. When I was watching this through again on English dub, I was watching my daughter. I got to the prismatic forest. Seeing a baby absolutely lose her mind at an overly saturated prismatic colored forest is by far one of the funniest things I've witnessed in a while. It was sensory overload.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I just couldn't imagine playing this game. Like their entire if we're talking, of course, it's an MMORPG, a bunch of different players. So of course you have clans. You have your lore clan, you have the fighting clan, you have the player killer clan, all that classic stuff. And just imagining what some people would have to sift through.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like this was geared towards people that are the Dark Souls, the junkies like that like a challenge, like their world to have excessive lore, whether they're going to explore it or not, and things like that. They knew their audience, I feel like.
One thing that does irritate me slightly is, I know this is a nice and relaxed setting, but the fact that to control this, it's basically reading all of his finger movements, and there's a game where he moves like his shoulders, like, okay, yeah, it's just casually giving a company your full set of biometrics.
Yeah, I know, and like, yeah,
I try not to think about that.
Yeah, in this day and age, yeah, no, I'm good. Not doing full dive VR. I've seen too many animes, and also, yeah, I don't want to know what you're gonna do with this amount of personal information.
Yeah, it seems a bit uncomfortable as far as believability in a show that is, of course, trending that needs so much investment in its reality. Most of the time spent is in the video game.
It is, but it has like that good blend of like they're not trapped. Like
No.
logs off, and like accounting for sleep is like a part of this show actually.
Kid also has a bladder of iron. Like he chugs an entire energy drink
and
then does this multi-episode fight, or like all this long stuff where he's apparently gaming for hours. And I'm just like, how do you not wake up in a puddle? Like, seriously.
I think he downed like 3 Red Bulls right before the Weathermon fight, which lasted like 6 hours or something insane. I don't even remember.
It was something nuts that he had to get set up for. And like he'll repeatedly have these long gaming sessions late through the night and into the morning. Okay, just don't think about it, Dave. Just don't think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick this thing apart if you wanted to, clearly. There's a lot of flaws in it. Is Sunraku literally laying down in his bed, putting on his diaper and being like, all right, I'm going to do this for 8 hours. Better deal with this when I come out of it.
But in terms of all that, it is like the lightest ask. That is the nitpickiest of nitpicky things.
Oh, yeah.
Of just, we're watching this for the reality of its setting.
Well, I mean, did you have the same fear as I did, like starting this and be like, okay, what version of Sword Art is this now?
Absolutely. I remember when it was airing, and I was watching it week to week, and buddy, the struggle of tuning in week to week to see like maybe this episode will be better in that back half. No.
I can't even imagine watching that show week to week. I only watched it after it fully aired, and it was more so of like, well, I'm this far, I might as well finish it type deals.
Well, see, the sunk cost fallacy got to you as well. So I was just deathly afraid at the start that Shangri-La like had this great start, and then I was just waiting. I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. And after about 3 episodes, I was like, okay, if the shoe drops, I can always leave or whatever. And thankfully, no, it's been 50 episodes now, and I'm having the time of my life. And it really goes to the you see about this transition here. So it really speaks to the direction of the series, as we have Toshiyuki Kuboka.
Oh, yeah?
He is known for a character designer. He worked on Gunbuster, Giant Robo, the Day the Earth Stood Still, which, again, both like beautifully animated shows.
Sounds good.
Beautiful character designs. He's worked on, he was the original character designer for Idolmaster, which is an anime series, and it's got a couple of gacha games with it. He was on 2018's Harakana Receive, which is a girls' beach volleyball series. He did Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elenia in 2020, and that's a light fantasy series with a traveling witch. Both of those shows were also animated by C2C. So cute girls doing cute things kind of show. And then he jumps into this series, which, also features some really cool designs doing cute things. Characters are designed by Ayumi Karashima. And she's done a lot of 2000s works, and including a lot by Studio Bones. So she did some key animation on Razafon, Wolf's Rain, Full Metal Alchemist, the OG, Scrapped Princess, Ouran High School Host Club. So some really solid stuff.
Yeah.
Some really beautiful shows. She's done character designs on Devilman Crybaby, and then she also worked on Megalobox Season 2, and she's also done some design works for Mobile Suit Gundam, Reconquista, and G. So she general design works for all visual elements of a anime, and then it was like a planning stage, but still working on a mecha series in a series and then going into Shangri-La Frontier with all of these kinds of designs and mecha elements as well. So there are a lot of characters in the show. Of course, we've mentioned Sunraku and then some rando named Pencilgon. There are a lot of characters in the show, but for the credits and such, we just kept it to our main trio, and that is Sunraku. He has a best friend named Kei, or like a pro gamer guy named Kei, or Oikatsu, and then Pencilgon, and then there's another girl who has gotten more of her due in season 2 at least, but I wanted to include her just because she's there, but I don't really like her that much. But
I'd consider her main cast.
You consider her main cast?
Saiger Zero.
Yeah, Saiger Zero's gotten to main cast status, I suppose. Finally.
Yeah, finally. I'll give you that.
And of course, rounding us off, we'll have everybody's favorite rabbit girl, Emil.
Yes, which did the mascot trope tastefully. I'll admit it. I was a little worried, but it's done well.
Yeah, for a high-pitched rabbit and character and then all the various things. For as far as mascot characters go, not the worst. Pretty good, actually.
Hands down. Yeah, pretty good.
So we have Sunraku, or again, Rakuro Hizutome. Sunraku is voiced by a guy in Japan. I'll do Japanese first and then English. So Sunraku's VA is Yuma Uchida. And I know him as Iori Kitahara. There's a college humor series with a lot of drinking. This is called Grand Blue. And I mentioned Grand Blue because Uchida-san channels a lot of that chaotic energy into Sunraku. He's also done the popular romance series. He did the Kyosoma from Fruits Basket, the Fruits Basket remake series. And as I was looking at this, I quickly realized, oh, this is a bit of a rabbit hole situation. I could go on all these different tangents because Yuma Uchida's older sister, is also a voice actress. She's not in the show, but that is Maya Uchida. She's done Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. She has done Chained Soldier, Is This Order a Rabbit? A ton of music theme songs as well for those shows.
Not as familiar with her. But Yuma Uchida, I pulled up other stuff he's done and everything. Have you watched Windbreaker? Main guy, Sakura Harakara, or whatever it is.
Okay,
I don't remember his name, but Sakura.
Yeah, Sakura.
And Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and honestly, I see a lot of his performance from Windbreaker into Sunraku. I feel like there's a lot of similarities in that character's energy and delivery, I've noticed.
Yeah, Sakura is indeed best boy, protect at all costs. But now that you mention it, I was like, I thought I saw him in there. I'm surprised I didn't write it down here. But you got him, so...
Hey, look at me. I did some research.
Well, you certainly know about the English guy now, Eric Vale.
Yeah, you mean everybody?
Yeah, Mr. Funimation, in Funimation guys, but also, he did Future Trunks and just Trunks in general from everything Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
He's also done Yuki Soma from both iterations of Fruits Basket. So he did 2001 and 2019.
Yeah. Fairy Tail, he's Loki.
Yeah, Loki.
My Hero, he's the main villain, Tomura. Yeah, this man does everything.
Because when I was making my list, I was just trying to keep it to like 3 or so credits. Because easily, people like Eric Vale and really like this entire cast list, I could go on for like a dozen roles and main character roles.
Oh yeah,
across easily. Like this is a stacked cast. And yeah, Sunraku is an especially boisterous character, and he's just got this mischievous energy about him that makes him so much fun for both of these guys to perform.
I don't know if it's the spiky blue character design, but he really gives me Sonic the Hedgehog energy.
I mean, his entire he's running an agility build. Kid, go fast.
Yeah, exactly. I have attitude.
So I was going to put Emil the rabbit further down the list, but then I saw her Japanese actress. She is voiced by Rina Hidaka, who is married to Sunraku, who's a voice actor.
This is awesome.
Yeah, and so they announced their marriage in January of last year, 2024, which would have been halfway through season 1. So they were voice acting together, got married, and they've continued to voice actor, and it just fits because Amiel and Sunraku just have this neutral chaos, like D&D party, just energy between him. He's just constantly putting up with her, with all the crazy things that she says.
You can tell they play off of each other very well, and clearly it shows why. It's like, oh yeah.
And Hidaka-san is very much in her comfort zone with her role as Amiel, because she also plays a lot of boisterous young girls. So you've got Philo, the bird girl from Rising of the Shield Hero. You've got Silica from, speaking of Sword Art Online, you know, the twin-tail, pigtail preteen who's always screaming.
With the dragon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have, speaking of dragon, we also have Milim, the loud-haired, because it's also very loud pink, but your obnoxious pink-haired dragon girl from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Emphasis on obnoxious pink-haired dragon girl.
She plays it very well, and there is a genuine quality to all those characters. Yeah, it fits her like a glove. Yeah. So very well done as Amy.
Yeah, that's not a diss at her. It's just not my favorite character in most shows, but it sells.
And of course, not to be outdone, we have Molly Zhang, who's actually a newer name to me.
Same.
Aside from one other show where she does a completely different delivery. I know Molly Zhang as Lady Gyokyo, one of the high-ranking concubines in Apothecary Diaries, which is this imperial court drama series that I love oh so much. And of course, I'm watching that right now.
I was going to say, I've heard you talk so much about Apothecary Diaries.
Molly Zhang, for those of you who play Zenless Zone Zero, this is Astra. Yeah, she is a newer voice to me because, you know, she starts around the mid-2010s, late 2010s. And in her personal bio, I was checking out like what role she has listed for herself. In her bio, she said she actually caught the acting bug after getting an entire nursing degree. Imagine doing a nursing degree and then going, oh, just career pivot change.
How many years of schooling plus clinicals? There's so much to it. And then like, oh yeah, heel turn. I'm just gonna become a voice actress.
As you do, but I mean, more power to her. She seems to be making it work.
Her Amiel performance is pretty spot on.
So yeah, Amiel and Sunraku, this is like our main duo. There's a whole side story with Vorpal bunnies, and Sunraku's given this great big mission from the. It's really interesting.
Your
like
Vorpal
you have
soul!
your Vorpal soul. So you have this entire science fiction setting, and then just animal people. Okay. Yep. We have animal people.
Animal people that are like caked in feudal Japan, like stereotypes.
Yeah,
and
a samurai.
Like, all right, sure.
Later, a samurai rabbit. Okay, cool. Let's just. We're doing this now. But Amiel is actually more of like the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. She even has the monocle and a time stopwatch.
Yeah, it's clearly the inspiration, hands down.
And jumping into our next character, we of course have Saiger Zero, or Rei Saga. For much of season 1, Rei is the girl with one character trait. She has a crush on Sunraku, but is too shy to really do anything about it. She's Saiger Zero, which is called like this great big beefcake armored dude called the Attack Master because she can do this ultimate technique that just deletes everything in front of him. Saiger Zero, because she has the whole armor thing in front of her face, her voice is echoing inside the suit. She sounds kind of androgynous when it's inside the suit. You can't really tell if it's a teenage boy or if it's a girl trying to, like, something gets distorted. So Sunraku doesn't know who this girl is at all, or that she's playing this character. It's completely different to her like real life demure status. And he's honestly intimidated by Saiger Zero. He keeps thinking like, is she gonna PK me? I don't get this guy. I don't get this guy.
The early interactions are honestly they're charming and like, all right, I'll put it out there. I typically hate this character. Like in every show, or it's just like it's an overdone trope these days, and I'm just tired of seeing it. But it's done well, and then season 2, like you were saying, just gives the character so much redemption. To like, oh, okay, you actually have traits and character growth and development.
Yeah, and every time she would be working up her courage to write a letter or to do something with Sunraku, like she clearly had a plan. She just needed to get the guts. So I was treating it almost like a sporting event. I'd have the popcorn and going, all right, girl, you got this. You can do it. Oh, no. Or like, congratulations. That's one more step.
Dave, you still have a heart of gold. You're just sitting there eating popcorn, rooting for her, and I'm just like, get over your feelings, just being a cynical just jerk.
And so her Japanese actress is Azumi Uwaki, and her credits also began around 2015. So she's been voicing for almost a decade now. Also, Waki-san, she is the narrator for the show because honestly, through season 1, she needs something else to do.
Yes, she did.
So if you want to hear more of her, aside from the narrator, she is Kanon Hisui from the show Go Go Loser Ranger. A really cool show from there. Hinata Tachibana from Tokyo Revengers. She's also done Uma Musume, Pretty Derby. That's the horse girl racing anime. So the English actress is Corey Petit. I was looking through, and I've actually got some side character credits because this was a breakout side character for her. She voiced Aura the Guillotine in Free Red Beyond Journey's End.
I was gonna say this is
like very much a breakout character.
This is the only thing I knew her from too.
Yeah. But you still gotta root for Saiger Zero. She does her best, and so we'll see what she gets to do in season 3 because we're back to squarely focusing on our main trio, Sunraku, and then we have Oikatsu, or also known as K. He's the pro gamer of the group and kind of the, I guess if you're talking with Sunraku's and Pencil Gon's chaotic energy, Kei finds himself playing the straight man a lot of the times or being forced into that role almost.
I was to say it's more of a forced straight man, but yeah, exactly.
He's got his own brand of chaos, but it's not quite as he still has some manner of decorum, I suppose, but
well, he's also the fighting game nut and everything else, which you need one of those.
Yeah, he's the fighting game guy. He's the first-person shooter guy of the crew. So again, he does this for a living. And based on season 2, Kid is stacked.
Yeah.
Doing very well for himself. So Kei is voiced by Makoto Koichi, and she voices one of the main characters, Sakura from Lycoris Recoil. And then I have 2 isekai shows here. She voices Lloyd from Reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, which I think that's the kid, like blue hair and overalls kind of design. And then one of the girls, like Yuka from I'm Standing on 1 Million Lives. But what I do want to say is her performance here reminds me of Black Star from Soul Eater at times, especially when like Kei is agitated or in combat. Yeah, I thought I was listening to Yumiko Kobayashi.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And then I was like, oh, she's not in this show, but man, Kei sounds like a lot like Black Star when he's in a fight.
I was so confused because, I did my research too, and I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the same person that does Black Star. And then I look it up and I'm like, wait, what? It's not. Once Kazuto gets like going in any type of fight scene, action, aggravated, it really carries that Black Star energy.
And then in English, he's voiced by another, I think there's another Funimation regular. I recognize her certainly from Clanad, but Brittany Karbowski.
It is.
She did, so I first knew about her. So Clanad was the 3rd ever anime I ever watched when I started. So I know her as Ryo Fujibayashi, and her voice didn't really match that character in the show, but it was still a good performance. It was good, well acted performance. Brittany Karbowski is obviously Rimuru, the main character of the Slime Isekai. She's also been a long-running character, Mikoto Misaka, from a certain Magical Index or the certain Scientific Railgun series. That's like in the Steins Gate continuity.
Yeah, she's also Hitch from Full Metal as well, I'm realizing.
Yeah, Hitch from Full Metal, yeah.
Or Full Metal. You just agreed with me and I realized Attack on Titan. Why did I say Full Metal?
Attack on Titan? Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Even as I was agreeing, it was like Hitch from Full Metal. I was like, I was trying to pull the character up in my head. Yeah, Hitch from Attack on Titan.
There we go.
Yes, she does a very good job there. There we go.
Yeah.
Totally not going to edit that out.
Please don't.
No, don't worry. I'm going to leave it in.
Sweet.
Editing Dave, leave this in. So yeah, Kei, we've got him. And then last and certainly not least, in my case, this is the best worst girl.
Yep.
Towa Amane / Pencil Gon. She is. But what would you call Pencil Gon's like character trope, character type?
Oh, how to put it? It's literally, well, it's the PKer. It's the person that's like, I'm not gonna play the game for playing the game. I'm playing the game to piss off the most amount. The troll gamer. There we go. Took me a minute. Yeah, couldn't find the word, but yeah, it's close to the troll gamer, where it's just like, I'm gonna be the villain. I'm gonna have fun. I don't care about the story. I'm just here to have a good time.
I was sitting there like the happy backstabber or something like that. Like she will repeatedly screw over both Sunraku and Kei by the same token, she also goes all out in helping them. If it's something that she cares about, she will do everything that she can to ensure their success.
And that really shows in the pencil gun fight, but yes.
Oh, and the Weathermon fight? See, you did it too.
Gosh, I am falling apart here. Yes. Yes, the Weathermon fight.
When she fights herself.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
that iconic moment.
So, Pencil Gun is voiced by Yoko Hikasa. I almost said Hisaka. It's Hikasa. One of these little side notes that I found. She says she was inspired to pursue voice acting thanks to watching Sailor Moon as a young girl.
Huh.
And so she's done a number of big roles. Her breakout hit was Mio Akiyama from K-On!, which was the very popular girls band series by Kyoto Animation. A more titillating character, she's voiced Ries Gremory, from the main girl from High School Double D.
I can only imagine. Why are you breezing past that, Dave? I can only imagine what kind of show that is.
All right, you know what? Type in Ries Gremory right now.
Right.
High School Double D.
Oh, boy.
DXD.
All right.
Is your safe search on?
No. Oh, okay. Gee, why have I seen this character in places? Anyways.
I'm about to say, you may not know the show, but you have seen this character everywhere.
I have. Can't imagine why.
Yep. So enjoy that in your search history.
As I will.
We were just talking about Dragon Ball Daima. So she voices Dr. Arensu, the villainous mad scientist who made all the new Majin Boos. So she kills it as that character as well.
It was a great fit.
And then a little different, which I was surprised to remember this. She voices Adam from Pluto. So she voices Pluto was the come on, Dave, you know this. Astro Boy.
I was gonna say,
Astro Boy.
You blew up about this. I remember, and I never got around to watching it, unfortunately, and I need to.
It was only one of my favorite shows of 2023.
Yeah, just that.
But yeah, Adam. She voices Adam from Pluto, so that's still on Netflix. And yeah, she does. It's a very different performance from obviously these other characters. And then for English, we have Brianna Roberts. She was also a Funimation hire, but it was more like in 2018. So we have Captain Kayako from Fire Force. There's a character named Magic Mirror from anime Ranking of Kings, also a really good show. And then in the Urusei Yatsura reboot, she voices one of the early waifus, actually. She voices Sakura. Sakura is the Shrine Maiden girl from Urusei Yatsura. So again, some pretty solid roles. And I look forward to hearing more from her, especially after her performance as Pencil Gone and then from Sakura.
I feel like this show's going to do a lot for every voice actor, except Eric Vale.
I hope so.
Hey, Eric, this is just another notch in the belt for him.
The dynamics between these guys is just... It's so
impressive on like how well all of these voice actors and characters mesh together. I've seen it done so much worse so many other times. This has been done so well. There's a lot of care in it, and it's really impressed me.
I can really feel that the actors are just having a blast.
Yeah.
Particularly with the main trio, Sunraku, Kei, and Pencil Gone. These guys are constantly trying to get under each other's skin. Like, these characters have a history.
They really portray, like, these characters have been playing games and talking with each other for years now. And for the voice actors to just capture that so well, it was really impressive.
What do you think about the juxtaposition between the real world and the game world? Because thinking about it just the other day, it's like, yeah, so a gaming addict, a supermodel, and a programmer walk into a bar.
Yeah. A lot of like the communities me and you share, like across podcasting platforms, Discords and stuff, it's all walks of life people. And this game does really well. It's like you can meet anybody while playing games online with people and form some actual really solid friendships. And I feel like the show does capture that very well.
I think so as well. Although if we're talking some of the abject silliness of the show, yeah, there's the real world. Much of the show is set in the game, but even in the real world, if we're talking to jump ahead like to season 2, where Sunraku is like, oh my god, I'm about to meet the supermodel Toa Amane and then finally meet Kei face to face
for the first time.
I'm just a dude. Yeah, for the day, like, I'm just a dude, so what do I have that they don't? Oh, I got it. It's my identity.
Yeah. gas mask and just like, I'm gonna be a freak of nature. All right.
Yeah, so he's walking around in this high class hotel, and anytime he's having a meeting, he's basically wearing a psycho mask from Borderlands.
Yeah, pretty much. It's such a good little trope of just like, oh yeah, I'm a nothing high school student. Uh-oh, wait a minute. This could really ruin our dynamic.
Yeah, these are all reasonably intelligent people, but I mean, come on. There's just such an air of this show doesn't really give a rip.
No, they really lean into the absurdity. Yeah, there would be some nerves and things if you were in Sunraku's situation. You wouldn't probably jump to I'm gonna wear a psycho mask. They ride that perfect line of like life's at a 5. Let's just bump it up to like a 7 or 8 just to give the show a little bit more punch.
Right, and like even Kay and Pencilgon, I love that. Well, Kay and Amane both are
Yeah.
just so accepting. Like this is when you know that they are true friends. Like he shows up wearing a psycho mask, and they're just both like, "Why are you doing that? You know what? Fine, do what you want."
Yep. They're like, yeah, that tracks. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, and Kay's friend, you can also see like just how desensitized he is to Sunraku's goofiness because Kay they're supposed to be this 4-person match, and so Kay's
Yeah.
regular teammate. It's like, wait, pause, what the hell? And Kay's just like, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's like, what? There's not a problem. It's just a supermodel and a guy in a psycho mask.
I think we kind of answered this already. Well, actually, we may have started along this path, but since this is a show about ostensibly about video games and gamers, like as far as does this show have like some good meta jokes, or do you think that this show gets gamers? Do you think it's like trying too hard?
I feel like shows like Sword Art at times or like Rising of the Shield Hero and things like that were really trying to like, yeah, video games. This has blended the line better than most, I would say. Like I've been really impressed. Yeah, they get the joke of like Sunraku's build and character and how he plays is your typical Dark Souls glass cannon build that a lot of people I feel like can relate to.
Yeah, his whole shtick is it doesn't matter if I just don't get hit. I think also if there is a little bit of suspense of disbelief, if you mentioned Sword Art Online and Shield Hero,
Mhm.
it's either trapped in a video game, a la Dot Hack, if I'm gonna show slightly my age here.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm in a fantasy world template number 57, and this world just happens to run on video game logic.
exactly.
There's that suspension of disbelief of when you have a character like this, like Sunraku. Yes, there's a clear definition of separation between the real world and the video game world, but it's also like, how do you express his actual DPS? Sword Art Online, Kirito is apparently this badass who could solo entire raid bosses.
Yeah, and then try and do that in like a WoW raid or something, and it's like you're gonna get annihilated. It's not possible. Period.
I think the control scheme of Shangri-La Frontier gives it a bit of wiggle room to get past that suspension of disbelief that Sunraku could
Yeah.
potentially do this, because it's basically the control scheme is move your body.
Yeah, real life physics.
Yeah, it's like real life physics, what you would imagine like an Xbox Kinect or an iToy sort of thing, just moving in a 3D environment. So theoretically, yes, there are special moves and I suppose animations that his character locks into for his skills and attacks. But other than that, he's just bouncing off the environment as he would, quotes, real life. That's just how advanced
Yeah.
this game is. And so there are moments of like, how can he solo a raid boss? Well, he just exploits gravity, fall damage, and then does a plunging strike. And because his real world reflexes are so good, he's just dodging and parrying their attacks.
Yeah, it really leans into the like I've played so many bad video games that I've gotten good, and literally he's finally handed something with a real physics engine that works properly and everything, and it's like, oh, I'm an untouchable god because of this.
Yeah, just about. And it's not even that you said untouchable god is not even that. Like early on, Sunraku gets killed a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
I remember
The crystal scorpions.
Yeah, the crystal scorpions. I'm thinking even earlier than that when he's doing the whole Vorpal bunny test And it's like, okay, now you got
Oh
to do
yeah,
this.
the arena.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the arena. It's like, okay, now you have to do this boss gauntlet, and he's trying to figure out.
Yeah, just trial by fire, essentially.
Yeah, trial by fire, and there was this one bird enemy that just kept taking a shit on his head, and it was immediate
Yeah.
poison damage.
And it's just stuff like that where it's just like, oh, I've done this 100 times now. What you see is the end result a lot of times.
The world of Shangri-La Frontier is, of course, like again, fantasy slash sci-fi world, bunch of biomes, very pretty. But the game has a set of roaming super bosses, essentially called the Seven Colossi. And so the central hook, when Sanraku starts playing the game, he's very much going a casual playthrough and doing his early game stuff, and he encounters one of these super bosses, and it's called Leokagon the Night Slayer. It's a giant wolf.
And he's like, oh crap. Literally has the experience to know, oh, I'm effed. All right.
He manages to fight this giant wolf of black darkness, shadow. Just he's able to fight this shadow wolf for a surprising amount of time. He's learning its attacks, and then it does something that he doesn't expect, and it kills him. But as
Rips
part of
his
that
legs
fight,
off.
yeah, just rips his legs off in the
Casually.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
casually. So as he's going like, what the heck just hit me? And the wolf finishes him off. He then wakes up with Leokagon's curse. And it has a
Yeah,
couple of
which-
effects, but it's like, why do we have a half-naked Birdman in boxers? Because he can't
Here's
put on
why.
armor. It just sets the whole tone for the show of now he has a goal, a sort of personal vendetta against this wolf, because he constantly comes across armor that he thinks would be really cool to equip, and the game just says no. He realizes, oh, this thing kicked my ass. It's game on.
Yeah, this is my sole goal now, is I'm defeating this wolf. I don't care about the rest of the game. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever gets me closer to defeating this shadow wolf.
And as it turns out, again, this is just one of 7 super bosses, and there are entire clans devoted to taking down these world bosses. You know, these are WoW level, what would be like the super bosses that would take teams of 40 plus people or however, like a bunch of coordination
Yeah.
to even attempt, in multiple attempts. And he basically wants to solo one of these.
Yeah, because they're unique, which means once they're defeated, they're defeated. No respawns, nothing. So if you want to defeat it, you have to be the one.
There's a lot of lore tied up to the story of, the world story, which, as a side note, I love the little glimpses into the studio and the people that run Shangri-La Frontier, or namely
the back end of it.
Yeah, the back end of it. So you have the person in charge of the world building, and then the person in charge, or one of the people in charge of game mechanics. You have some office politics, and the poor guy who's sent down to the basement to deal with them. So you'll see him straighten his tie and get ready, crack his neck, and then he takes stomach pills for like ulcers or something, because apparently these two, the game mechanics and the lore person, are constantly in 2 cat fights. These 2 ladies are just tearing each other up.
Which I would imagine that's the case in a lot of game development. I have this super rich story. Yeah, I gotta make it, reasonable and plausible though.
Yeah, but then the lord lady will go back and secretly buff some of the bosses. She's like, hey, this wasn't hard enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what do you mean? This is impossible. And then they start catfighting again, and the guy tries to butt in, and they both kick him in the stomach. Poor dude.
And they almost keels over.
I hope he gets paid well.
Well, you saw that suit, car. Dude, man's rolling it. It's not worth it.
So I do love those little asides. So yes, the 7 Colossi are like the big focus of this game. But yeah, the first encounter with Ryokagon is pretty much straightforward. And then as far as if we're going to talk season 1, like the highlight fight of that season, my God, the Weathermon fight. We've been talking forever about it.
Yeah. It's just this lead up of like this big bad, and honestly, now I'm thinking, what's Sanraku's hook for fighting Weathermon? Do you remember?
So there's an NPC that Toa Amane just got attached to. She really got attached to the character story. And it just so happens this character is tied to Weathermon, the Tomb Guardian or something, the Tomb Bearer.
Tomb Guard.
Yeah, the Tomb Guard. And he's this cyborg samurai looking dude. And so being a basically a super boss, and some people have fought him. He has very specific unlock conditions. Penselgon really wants to take him down because she has an attachment to this character. I do also like the aside of Sunraku and Kei are kind of negging her on for it, like kind of giving her a hard time.
Yeah.
It's like, look, even I can get absorbed in a story, okay?
Yeah, like, you're a weenie. You care about an NPC. What a loser. Meanwhile, it's like, all right, I've been playing Animal Crossing. I'm over attached to my neighbors. Like, anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But
it's so
just
charming.
and there have been good fights leading up to this. Like, honestly, this is an action series. So if you're talking about action
Yeah.
animation, yes, you're going to get plenty of that. There's the area bosses where you get to see Sunraku deal with
Yeah.
various effects. Like there's one that slows him down because he's in a swamp. Although he casually speed runs one boss and just does it the first time, which I was like, that's kind of bullshit, but whatever.
The giant mound of trash?
Yeah, the giant mound of trash. He's like, he exploits a known strategy to quick kill this boss.
Yeah, it was more so to show off he got new abilities, and it's like, here's how they work. So
It is nice to see him constantly get upgrades, and it's not just he doesn't throw away old tools. Like some of the knives, he's a dual wielding knife guy primarily, but knives that he gets at the beginning of the game, he's able to upgrade consistently through the series and get new weapons as well as you get more into the sci-fi aspect of the show. And he even changes his bird mask out at one point.
a couple of times I feel like where
Yeah, a
it's
couple
just
of
like,
times.
where this bird mask gives no benefit besides hiding his face, but still he rocks it 99% of the time, which I can appreciate too.
I mean, it's better than the Charlie Brown sheet that he sometimes wears because it's the only thing
Oh
that can
gosh,
cover his
that
entire
hurt.
body. But yeah, I do love the action as well. When they want to turn it up, this studio knows how to turn it up, and Weathermon is one of the best fights I've seen in a good while. There's a ton of back and forth between the fight. In fact, a key strategy in that fight is one of those of like, no, Weathermon is going to kill us, so we have to have a consistent healing and revival strategy.
Yeah, how much detail went into it? Like, no, this is stuff you would actually deal with if you were doing like a real raid boss in a video game. It's like, okay, we're gonna die a couple of times. How do we prevent that? How do we deal with that? And yeah, the level of detail that went into it, it was impressive.
And I'll even say, even for season 2, yeah, it had a bit of a slower start because we were setting up more arcs. And you and I were talking about the second Ryokagon fight, the rematch,
Yeah.
a little bit, which it was certainly a different type of fight. So like Weathermon is, what was it? We said that was more like the Dark Souls comparison or like a
Yeah,
Sekiro
I'd say so.
FromSoft boss, whereas Ryokagon, he's a giant freaking wolf. So there was a lot of fight filled in of just running around and saying, you go this way and then I'm going to hit it.
Well, I think the biggest thing about that one was it was stumbled upon again. It wasn't a planned out fight like Weathermon was like, hey, we're going on this day. Yeah, this day, this time. Here's what we need to do. Lycaon was just like, so here it is. And I have a ragtag team here. I guess we'll attempt this.
It was a lot of fun seeing them just go to basically making a plan on the fly. And like I said, Weathermon was like a Dark Souls boss, and Ryokagon was like a monster hunter because it was always about, hey, it's your turn to draw aggro, and now I'm going to hit the big monster with my ultimate attack.
Yeah, it really had a lot of that energy. Yeah, it was impressive, and it just shows that they're taking from like multiple video game styles too. Like, hey, you're not the Dark Souls player. Hey, maybe you're in the Monster Hunter. Maybe this will grab you a bit more. And I'm sure we'll get into it, but there's also a world outside SLF too, where it's gonna have where your niche is somewhere in this realm.
Actually, yeah, before we do that, is there anything specific that we haven't talked about SLF or a particular standout moment, a scene that you want to bring up? Or
cheesing the Crystal Scorpions is pretty entertaining tangent for the show, I'd say. I don't know, you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, it is. The Crystal Scorpion tangent is actually interesting. This show has its own idea of pacing.
Yeah, it really does.
Sometimes I wouldn't say it's unfocused, but you're not really sure what it's gonna do at some point. Like basically, Sunraku will be doing something, and then he'll go by the logic of, "Hey, look, a squirrel." And he'll just chase a squirrel for 2 episodes.
It's accurate to like if you're playing Skyrim. Do you ever do the main story? No, you find a cave and that leads to 20 other things. And before you know it, you're on the other side of the map chasing crystal scorpions into a pit.
Pretty much. And I thought it was interesting in that aspect, but it still ended up being like the crystal scorpions ended up paying off in a new weapon. And it
Yeah.
was a new way of, hey, I'm going to abuse the specific game mechanic. And then he tries it again the next day, and it was, oh, Big Brother was watching me, because now the crystal scorpions aren't falling for it anymore. Like they
Yeah.
patched AI overnight. It's that thing of what Sunraku does can sometimes warp the meta of the game.
Yeah, I like that they included the fact that it's like, oh, it's straight up a dev patch. Like, it was a nice detail that I wasn't expecting out of this show.
Well, I think what sets Sunraku apart from other protagonists I've seen maybe in this genre is, yeah, he's in a video game and he tries to abuse, like he uses the video game's logic against itself.
Yeah.
A lot of it, of what he does is, of course, obviously he's very skilled and he can do a 1v1, but there are many situations where he goes, okay, if I take this on as I am, it's just going to murk me. So how can I manipulate this computer into, how can I trap this computer into a logic loop to where I can exploit something? And it's something we see with a big, again, just a random boss enemy, not even the thing he's after at the end of season 2. Giant under like flaming whale or whatever the hell it was.
Oh yeah, that thing, yeah.
And him just going, okay, if I do X, Y, and Z and I make it aggro on this other thing, and then I set this up, I should be able to get away scot-free, and then set up this big attack to where it basically shoots itself.
Yeah,
it's like, how do you do that on the fly? It's so creative and it's so unexpected of what you would expect. Like any other show where you have an overpowered protagonist, they would just go, oh, here's a secret technique I just unlocked off screen.
Yeah, exactly. Dual wielding to pull from sword art. It's like, oh, I have this god skill that I've acquired, and all the sorts of crap.
By the way, dual wielding and I'm the only one who can do it because I'm a very special boy.
Yeah, but I think that's what grabs me about, like, what really got its teeth into me about this show was that's how I play a lot of my games, where I'm like, if I'm going against a boss, I've died a few times, I'm like, okay, let me just like whip out a plate and shove it against this wall and see if I can clip through and really bust this thing, and like things like that. That's where the show I think really spoke to me, or I'm like, I get this. I get this thinking.
And you mentioned it earlier, there are other games aside from SLF that he plays, and it's not only where he got his skills from, but you get to see his flexible thinking in motion. These other games, he's always having to find and fight against these other limitations. And so I had the list. Obviously, there's more in the manga and the web novel, but
I'm sure.
I figured to kind of cap this off, we would run through the other games in the show and go, would you play this?
I mean, I'll spoil it a little bit. I'll play any game and every game that is shown in the show, hands down. But yes, I would love to discuss,
even including apparently his long and very verbose hatred of Faria Chronicles Online. You would really hate that one?
I would do it. I've played other crap before. I've literally been sitting here this whole time. I'm like, what is my comparison? I can't think of it, and it's killing me. But I've totally done those where like, this is a slog. I hate it, but the satisfaction of beating this is unreal.
You would be in the vaulted few who endured until the end. You need to have something over everybody else.
Oh yeah, it's like I've done this, whether it was enjoyable or not.
The Faria Chronicles Online, that's the game that the show opens with, where he drop kicks the elf, because I will say it every time. It's funny every time. It's just one of those, he has a true soul grudge against this game. So no, I would not play this game.
Yeah, this is very much on my bottom tier of like, yeah, I would play. But still, I think I would do it just because I'm a sadist and I hate myself in some levels, but I do it. And obviously, the better comparison, is SLF is the far superior game because it's a similar realm and a similar game in the same genre, but just done a million times better.
Well, the next one up would be it was called United Round. And it is, if you want to see like Dark Souls or Demon Souls in VR, this is basically United Round. It's this brutally hard fantasy game. The drop rates are atrocious, and people were just trying to find something to enjoy. So all of the players just went full on player versus player and turned it completely on its head. It's also the game where this is where Sunraku met Towa Amane Pencilgum, because she was going by Penciled Knight, and basically shaped the game around her whims. She
Mm-hmm.
had this whole arc of she set herself up as the literal supervillain of the world, raised an army of players, and then threw down the gauntlet, which Sunraku and Kei then took upon, and that's how they all became friends.
They became friends by destroying her empire, which is hilarious to me.
But it's also like this great big thing in that server that became like part of gaming history or whatever.
Yeah, general gaming lore. It was like the Leroy Jenkins, essentially, where it's just like, I don't even play WoW, but I know Leroy Jenkins. And it reminds me of a game, me and my cousin played it like a couple of times. It was called Reign of Kings, where pretty much it's a bunch of people dropped into a fantasy, typical Middle Ages world. The throne is wide open to be the king of this world. You just have to get there first and claim it. And I think we cheesed the game, like made a bridge and a wall, whatever. We made me king, and in the course of like 15 minutes, had a whole server and world turn on me because I went corrupt with power like instantly. And it's just a good time, but it's literally when I saw Unite's round, it's the first thing I thought of.
Well, jumping into the next one, we talked about how Sunraku and Kei met Pencilgon. Well, this is the game where Sunraku had his rivalry with Kei, and this is Berserk Online, or BERP, B-E-R-P, as they called it. It's basically one of those, it's a fighting game where just glitches and bugs are the name of the game, just completely busted open, but it also has a dedicated following of glitch hunters. He had this big rivalry with Kei, and they became friends, and later it'll introduce a character who becomes Akitsune in season 2, back half of season 2. So that character will assist in the Ryukagon rematch. So she's a very important reason why they won that fight. But she got into Shangri-La Frontier because she met Sanraku in Burp, and then went on to Shangri-La Frontier to track him down. Which, slow down, girl, but still.
Yeah, right? It's like, hey, I'm stalking you now. And it's like, okay, all right. Anytime Burp, because Burp comes up a few times in this show.
Yeah, he goes back to it multiple times, like at least twice.
And it's always just a little charming break, honestly. I found it enjoyable. Could you see yourself doing this if you knew a game was this buggy and just getting into it?
Maybe. It depends on if I got in on the ground floor. I think that's what, like, Sunraku, because of his specific hobby, was able to find this. Also, these guys, like, everybody online is super duper positive. This is one of the more positive portrayals of a community I've seen. Like, they're all just like, make yourself at home. Like, they roll out the red carpet to any new players on there because they're just so happy to see someone else playing this game that they all enjoy.
Well, I feel like that's like any game in this show, honestly. It shows all the positives of online video games communities, which is nice. I'm glad they haven't like done like a complete heel turn. It's like, all right, now here's the person that's gonna say horrific things about your mother and make this awful.
Probably that's probably the one in United Rounds. It was as toxic as that player base is. Yeah, that's likely the one. I could see myself possibly playing a game like this. The other one actually holds more interest to me. That was Nephilim Hollow, the one where he went, oh, I have all this cool mecha armor that I can't equip. Let's do 3 episodes in this mecha game. And I was like, what? It was just basically a whole side quest arc and introduced the characters Rust and Mold. Why?
I don't know.
What? Gamer tag? Come on, Rust and Mold? Really?
I'm really waiting for the explanation on those names because we still haven't gotten.
But it was still kind of cool of like, okay, Sunraku was played this, and this is one of those, like, the game works fine. It's just crazy hard to control.
Yeah.
Sunraku was one of those, like, I got obsessed with this for a while because it was so intricate and very creative, and it goes through this whole thing of how do you build your bot, you can build this robot from scratch and all this stuff. For a side game, I kept going, like the first time we were in there, I kept going, okay, when are we leaving?
Yeah, I know. It's like another. Yeah, I was like, oh, another episode. Another. Wait, what?
And actually, by the time he left Nephilim Hollow, I was kind of sad.
It was near the perfect amount of like a break and something different, and it did left me wanting more too. Yeah,
it wasn't a filler fight. Well, I mean, it was a filler fight in that sense, but I mean, they went all in on the production. Like, he had 2 full-on fights. One that was apparently the Rust is one of the many players who declares themselves Sunraku's rival.
Yeah, the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, this was supposed to be like the big premiere match of 2 titans in this game facing down. And yeah, it didn't disappoint. I think if
No,
for
not at
something where I
all.
see full 3D CG on robots for something that's not in Shangri-La Frontier, it looked like they were playing a video game.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I appreciate about this show when it jumped to other games, and I want to get into this specifically before we get to the last one, is you can tell SLF is the highest quality game. Because the other ones, it's like, yeah, they're different art styles, they look good, but almost like quality looks slightly worse. And it's such a nice little detail that I really appreciate while watching the show.
Yeah, the way they express glitches as well in the show is a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's not just the fact that yes, this is the world of full dive VR MMO. It's like, okay, but how do people design games in this space? It's not just Shangri-La Frontier. Almost every game on this list, I can sit here going, yes, I see the framework. Like you gave me enough to work with in the narrative, but
Mhm.
you could really take this idea and run with it if you're doing a full 3D environment, which I really appreciate. And so, yeah, obviously the last one, really, yeah, it's got the comic book style because it's called
Mhm.
Galaxia Heroes Chaos. And so this is, well, what I thought would be the big premiere thing in season 2, and it ended up being one of the premiere things, and now we have to wait a year.
The blue balls, yes.
Yeah, just the amazing blue balls that this show left me with in terms of
I,
two
yeah.
big showdowns. So, Galaxia Hero Chaos is basically, as they bill it, the first Shangri-La Frontier generation title. And so it's this fighting game where you play as different comic book heroes. Basically, the Galaxia Heroes is essentially Marvel Comics or DC Comics, take your pick. But it's
I was gonna say it's Marvel Rivals is what it
yeah,
is.
it's literally Marvel Rivals. And so you go around this environment. If you're a hero, you do heroic things. If you're a villain, it's your job to be a jerk for a full 3D environment in this city. And yeah, your character does have specific attacks, like attack animations that get locked in, but it's still your body controlling it. The line's a little blurry on what's a
Yeah,
character move and what's a player move, but
that's the whole show though too.
again, it's enough to work with. That's par for the course, and it's also really cool fight scenes. Again, very different character designs. It's in a completely different art style, and just a lot of fun of them of the four teams, or the four characters, figuring out what do they want to play as.
Yeah, figuring out what's the right character, like this suits your style and everything else.
All of this for an exhibition match. So we had our big fight with Weathermon for Pencilgon, and now this is going to be essentially Kay's arc.
Yeah, it is. And it's just showing like, yeah, it's an exhibition match, but it's against like his professional gaming rival.
Interestingly enough, I'm looking forward to season 3, and
I am
this
too.
the number one gamer in USA is this girl named Sylvia. Well, the way her character is and the way she approaches the game, and
Mhm.
also has that chaotic energy of Sunraku. She's basically like
Yeah,
if Sunraku went pro, is what I
exactly.
think the show is trying to tell us.
Dedicated himself to one genre, not just, the vague of trash game, but like this is she chose fighting games and if it was Sunraku's energy essentially.
And I really wish we'd had a little bit more of a conclusion, but that just means
Yeah.
I have more to look forward to next year.
I know, but it's such a long wait.
Yeah, the pain is real.
It really is.
Well, Wildcard, I say we certainly filled an episode of a discussion. Thank you so much for jumping in here with me and talk about just,
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
yeah, just shooting the shit on an anime that we both unexpectedly found. And 50 episodes later, we're sitting here talking about how we want more.
Yeah, frothing at the mouth for more. Yeah, no, it's been a delight. And it's thank you again for having me. It's been a ton of fun. It's definitely been fun. Didn't know what we were going to get. It was definitely new territory for me, but I've had a blast.
So before we sign off, is there anything that you would like to plug? Any projects or any fellows?
Well, I currently don't have any new projects or anything going on, but if you want to see me just be a general nuisance to most people, I would recommend checking out the Retrotopia podcast. They cover retro games, hosted by Brian, Sam, and Alan. They're a good group of guys. I've guest appeared on that show a couple of times now. I may be guest appearing here again soon, depending on the time of this recording, but I'll leave that as a tease. But go check them out. You can find them at their Linktree, just Linktree/Retrotopia. Get in on their Discord server and just jump in and have a good time with all of us. Dave's there too.
Yeah, it's a really solid group of guys. The hosts are amazing, and they started during the first bit of the Treehouse run, and I had them on the show for Super Mario Brothers, and the chaos that that was just in there
That was
was
wacky.
it's still one of my favorite episodes that I've recorded, and that's
Yeah.
before they added Alan permanently. So
Yeah.
I was able to surprise both of them with the early iteration of the Gentleman's interlude by Alan, who was more than gracious to do that. And I really want to have them on the show again. I have a well, you know what? I'll just leave that as a teaser as well.
Yeah, no, I didn't wanna say too much either. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know how much I could say."
Well, once again, thank you for coming out, and for those of you listening, thank you for listening all the way to the end of this. And like always, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe and watch more cartoons.
Bye.